I understand that I need to like hone down my temper some days, but like we have terrible days, and then I get something that's like, hey, this is Steve, and I'm looking to show Erie. I'm like, okay, we have 4 listings on Erie. Which one are you trying to show, Steve? He's like, oh, aren't you cocky with a bunch of business? Like, no, I'm not. What? Just tell me the full address, right? And like now I'm frustrated because I'm on the other line. I got 50 emails coming in. I got 10 people who need my attention right now, and I'm talking to Steve about Erie, and then he's like, it's 435 Erie unit this. I'm like, okay, when do you want to see it? Well, that's a great question. Let me think about that. Can you do Saturday? Okay, we can do Saturday. No. Sunday, anytime Sunday. Okay, we'll do 12 o'clock Sunday. That's not going to work for me. How about Tuesday? You're like, what the hell is going on here? This is Laricy Live, and I'm your host, Matt Laricy, giving you unfiltered access to the world of real estate. We cover market trends, news, and give you the honest answers that will keep you ahead of the real estate game. Laricy Live is brought to you by Zenlist. Do you want to know the secret to growing a high-volume real estate business? It's not just about generating the most leads. The key to success for Laricy's agents is providing the best client experience. We put our clients on Zenlist because we know that they're getting the modern, mobile experience they not only want, but expect from their agent in this day and age. Using Zenlist with our clients put us all together in a shared space where we could work together during the home search process, which helps us be efficient and provides our clients the VIP treatment. Sign up for Zenlist using code LARICYLIVE, no spaces, all lowercase, to save $240 on your first year's subscription. Laricy Live is also brought to you by Lincoln Title. Lincoln Title is the best and most efficient title company in Chicago and the best place to close your property. So today we are talking about a day in the life of a top agent, and we want to kind of go through what it's like throughout the day of what kind of happens. There's a lot that goes into this business. On some of the TV shows, it makes it look like that we're able to go out to brunch and just hang out all day.
Maybe parties.
Yeah,
you negotiate deals at brunch.
Yeah, get some shopping done. But what we want to do is actually showcase like what it's actually like to be here. So I brought on the 2 most tenured people. Catherine Healy now? Are we taking Catherine just got married. So
I think I'm going to keep Holbrook on my email, but yes, I'm going to change it.
When you change it, we have to talk into the mics, guys, too.
When am I going to change it? Whenever. We bought a house in October. I still haven't changed the address on my license. So.
Do Holbrook and then Healy
It's
after.
It's going to be Holbrook, Healy, but I think I'm going to keep Holbrook on all my... Yeah, but I'm going to keep Holbrook on all my work stuff, I think, so.
Got it. You could slowly transition it off, is what a lot of agents do. And then Jamie, formerly known as Price, but now Daly, is on here. She's also... This might be the last podcast for Jamie for a while. She's got her first kid coming. How far along are we? We can track this.
Sorry. Cooper, go lay down.
She brought her dog today, which is
smelling my breakfast sandwich. Lay down.
So,
I am 32 weeks today.
32 weeks.
Yeah.
So
what's full term? 36.
40.
So we're getting there. We're getting close. So we're gonna run down, just kind of go day through day, question by question, what people wanted to know about what actually happens, and kind of discuss a little bit. So, first one is, what's the first question?
All right. I think this obviously is going to vary on Realtor, but for you, how much downtime do you actually have in a day?
Honestly, I would say there's really no such thing as downtime because it never really slows down. Right?
I mean, you can consider...
I knew that was going to be your answer.
Same. What? But you could consider, like, working out or getting lunch downtime.
Okay, so then if I factor in, like, sleep, lunch, and,
How about when you make dinner for your family and your wife? And you
but
have
I'm
a
still,
glass
like,
of wine
on the
with your
phone
wife?
and, like, screaming on the phone while making... In fact, yesterday, I cut the tip of my finger off cooking, and I was screaming like a little girl, and Nicole made me go into the room because I was, like, it hurt so badly and I was bleeding for her. And she locked the door. And said, she didn't ask me how good it was. There's blood scrolling down my hand. No being like, how do you feel? She's just like, you can't look like that in front of the kids, okay?
Yeah,
you need to man. My wife told me I had to man up because I almost cut my finger off, okay? So yes, I would consider this all. I don't know if that's downtime. Like I'm like I was talking on the phone, trying to cut this lettuce. So yeah,
Chopped your
maybe a
finger
couple
off.
hours a day, maybe.
Would you consider your morning routine like your downtime too, like your time to like re-zen back in?
I would say it's like
Zen.
yeah, I don't know
Zen
if I'd say
and Mount
zen,
Laricy.
but
You're
like,
I
like,
don't know,
well,
just like settle down for a second and like get your
I
head
think
cleared
maybe
out.
when I run is my zen time, like where I literally map out my day while I run, and that's kind of like I guess we'll consider that downtime. What's our next question?
What time do you normally get up?
My alarm goes off at 4:45, and I normally get out of bed like it's got to be like by 4:58. Like I got to get out of bed by 4:58 no matter what. So
Those
and
are very exact times. You look at the clock.
4:58.
I
Yeah.
do, and like I'm like I internally know I have to get up because if I get up by 5, then I'm always like 2 minutes late, and then ruins my whole day. It's
Do you
like
set an
minute by
alarm?
minute. Yeah,
You do?
yeah, I set alarm, and it goes. I mean, I'm normally kind of up, but also I do have kids, so like my son Roan wakes me up at least 2 times a day minimum. In the middle of the night. So like you're sleeping and you just get poked and you wake up, you're like, oh, there's a kid right there standing in front of my face. And then I have to walk him back, and then we have to
Just
get a drink.
staring at you.
No, then we have to get a drink. Then we normally have to have like a pee race, and then I have to put him back to bed. So it's like a whole thing if he gets out of bed. He's just like me. He's got like a routine for everything. If we break the routine, like that's it. Like he won't go back to bed.
What do they say? The apple doesn't fall far.
Yeah. So yeah, 4:45 is when we get out. Well, or technically, by the time we get out of bed, it's 4:58. I will tell you, I did hear some good advice though, because like when you wake up and you're tired, I heard this on like some like motivational thing. They say like you say 1, 2, 3, go, and like on the days like you really want to get up, like I always kind of use that like a launch off, like a 1, 2, 3, go, and like I just get up, and like it just gets me going because like there are not many times, but every now and then you're just like. I'm just like you're just really tired. You didn't get enough sleep. Maybe Rowan woke me up a bunch. Maybe one of the like Remy screamed or something like that. And like I just like you would love another 10 minutes of sleep, but I know how much it'll ruin my day, and I just do the 1, 2, 3, go, and I get out.
Do you have one alarm set? Because I'm the kind of person that has to set 3 alarms.
I'm not allowed to set more than one alarm. I can have one alarm.
Nicole's rules.
It can only go off once. It's got to be a sound that she likes. Okay.
Not like the.
Yeah, like because if it wakes her up, that's like because she needs her full like 9 hours of sleep. Like if she doesn't get it, it's a fight.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way too. I'm not a happy person when I don't get enough sleep.
It's just weaker mindsets, but that's fine.
Okay, so what do you like to eat for breakfast in the morning?
I do for my I'll go to my morning routine then first because I know it's a question because that gets into my that it depends on which workout I have, depends on what calorie intake I can take in the morning. But every morning the first things I do is I take a protein shake. I check my email while I'm doing that. While I'm getting dressed. This is how crazy I am. Like I have to have the iPad up. That's why the minutes matter. And the iPad has to be up while I'm changing, putting my clothes on. Because I have to. By the way, guys, I have to change and get dressed in the kitchen because I can't wake anybody up. So I have to lay my clothes out the night before in the kitchen. And then when I get up, I have to slowly, brush my teeth, go to the bathroom, whatever.
Why don't
and
you
then,
go to like your other wing now?
I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
But well, on the other side, the new side, Cruz sleeps, and he's the lightest of the sleepers. So if you wake him up, I'm absolutely screwed.
Oh, yeah.
So in the kitchen, like it's just only me and Nicole's bedrooms over there. All the kids are on the other side.
Got it.
So I get dressed, take a protein shake. While I'm getting dressed, I have the iPad out. I'm cleaning out emails, and then I have to be out the door by no later than 5:15. Out the door, and then I do. 5 days a week I do a run first, and 3 days a week or 2 days a week I do the workout first, then the run.
Got it.
Then when I come back, depends if it's the harder workout or the lighter workout, is the breakfast would change. I will do 2 pieces of rye toast with a protein shake and a mozzarella cheese stick, but if it's the lighter weight workout, it's only 1 piece of rye toast.
Oh,
because I can't have 2.
Crazy.
I didn't do enough calories. So
You sound like you starve yourself, kind of.
no, I mean protein shakes have a lot of calories. I mean
I'm
it's
not full after. I take
Patrick
a
is the
protein
exact
shake.
same way. I mean, like this doesn't
I'm
really surprise
starving
me. He's
still.
exactly.
yeah, you like
If he boxes twice, he allows himself like the carbs.
yeah. I mean, it just comes down to. I'm also a big believer in routine. Like I do the same routine in the morning on the weekends as well. The biggest difference is that like I get out of bed at 5:23. I have to be out of bed by 5:23, so I sleep for 5:19. So I sleep a little bit more on Saturdays and Sundays. And the only reason I do that is because the gym doesn't open until like a little bit later. And then I do that, and then I'm on my day. So like so instead of it's like what an extra like 20 or 30 minutes. So
That is actually the next question. Is there anything else that you do different on the weekends than during the week?
So the kids are home on the weekends, so
You can wake them up.
I get Remy and Roan out of Roan's crazy. My son Roan gets out of bed at like, I don't even, like, he's up. Like, I'll be like leaving for the gym and he's like staring at me from the other side of the hallway. He's like, aren't you supposed to be gone by now? And he gives me like this look because he wants to be able to like get up and watch TV. The kid doesn't sleep. He's just like me. But
So you get up and watch cartoons when you're gone?
he does. Yeah, he knows exactly how to work all the TVs and it's blaring. But then I get Remy out of bed and then I'm gone. That's the only difference. It's like an extra 50. I've timed it. It's about an extra 15 minutes. I try to spend with the kids.
What does the routine with the kids and Nicole look like in the morning? Does that set the tone for the day? Do you help Nicole in the morning? Or no?
Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I'm zero help. Like they drink chocolate milk, so I pour the chocolate milk. I get that ready. They call them almond bars, but they're granola bars. I don't know why I call them almond bars, but it is what it is. I lay the granola bars out. I lay Nicole's stuff out that she needs to take. If it's something heavy, I'll bring it down to the car for her, and then I'm gone. 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's my weight days. I go to the gym, then I race home. I get them out of bed. It's 15 minutes flat, and then I go for a run, and I walk them down in the car. And then Sundays I help out. But at 15 minutes, I give them maybe in the mornings. It's tough. If I'm behind and I know the workout is selfish, but it's. I think that's the only thing that keeps me. I like to feel. I think you have to feel good about yourself if you're going to be successful.
Why did you use the word selfish?
Nicole tells me all the time. I mean, it's like that's like obviously a given. Like, of course I'm selfish. Like, that's very apparent. To be successful, you have to be very selfish, I think.
What day of the week do you get off? Which we already know there's none.
Yeah,
how many days do you take off in a year?
So my best year. Now, most people with the mental health stuff, because we have, what day is our mental health month that we take off for mental health month?
Like, I don't know what
that doesn't exist here.
Yeah, we don't do mental health month. My best year, which is my least days off, was 2020. Was 9 days off, which was I think for anybody out there watching, that's an impossible feat.
That was first pandemic year.
Yeah,
right? So you couldn't travel.
Yeah, because you couldn't travel, and then you also remember I traveled. I went to Napa. I'll never forget this.
Oh yeah, then and
then I landed and my phone was going off and it's Captain like, ha, there's a travel ban. You can't come back. And
I was like, I was so excited because you would have had the most days off if you got stuck there.
Yeah,
and then he changed his whole.
Yeah, then I changed my whole. Like we landed, and I changed my flight back right away. It cost me like $5 or $6 grand.
But it was something that you would have been stuck there for.
No, I mean, looking back, and I should have been like so stupid to think like they were like gonna like sit there at the airport and like arrest us. But who knows? I mean, you don't know what's going on. But I mean, in a normal year, I take anywhere from 18 to 21 days off a year. And out there, people have to remember that includes holidays. So if we talk about the major holidays, we look at New Year's Day. You know, you got Labor Day or Memorial Day, Easter, July 4th. Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's 8 days right there.
But the thing is with you and your family, which I kind of think is like a little cheating, is that you guys don't schedule any of your family parties until after 4:00 on those days. So like exactly. Yeah. So like we get days off.
There are some days though that like Thanksgiving is a perfect example. You prep food ahead of time and then you prep food in the morning. Day off. So your routine changes on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but okay, so like on Thanksgiving Day, like first off, we don't start prepping food till 7:00 at night on Thanksgiving Eve. And like it drives my whole family crazy because my mother-in-law like came to keep her eyes open. She's like trying to cut some stuff and help me out. And like everybody knows you can't start it. And we don't start till later like in the morning because I have to not only prep but I have to work. I have to do my morning routine in the morning on Thanksgiving and on Christmas. So the kids can't open up their gifts because I got to go to the gym, I got to do all my stuff, and then we can do it. So,
but I'm saying like the normal one, like the Father's Day, Easter, Mother's Day. They don't get days off, him and Mickey and Joe.
Yeah, because we don't start till 4.
Because they don't start till 4:00, which is not fair. But right. Whatever.
Well, I mean, we dictate. We can't. There's no Father's Day celebration till. Actually, Nicole asked me what I want for Father's Day. I said I want to be able to work. That's it.
Oh man.
Why is it that fathers get to do what they want to do on Father's Day and moms like spend time with their kids the whole day? Like I feel like
I don't know if I could comment on that because I don't know if I'd be breaking some rules. We'll just let that one pass. What's your next question here?
All right.
What time do you go to bed?
So we put Roan down at like 9:15 at night, and then I get the laptop and I sit in bed next to Nicole probably like around like 10 because it takes about 45 minutes to put that kid to bed. And then I work from like 10 to like 11:30ish. And then depending on how much my heart is racing or how much I'm able to go to bed, I go to bed anywhere. Like I finally fall asleep around 11:30 to midnight.
Do you actually wake up feeling rested? That's a question.
I would say like 80% of the time I do. So I don't drink on weeknights anymore. I only drink Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I drink like we have a rule of like it's one bottle, so there's 4 glasses in the bottles. Like if Nicole only drinks 1, I might have 3. But like though, if I drink more than 2 glasses of wine, I get like 2.5. Like that next day, I'm like a little bit more tired waking up at 4:45. Like,
what about after Catherine's wedding?
We're not going to discuss that. We're not going to discuss that.
How many coffees or energy drinks do you have to drink in a day?
So, they say
and let's talk about actually that you actually do drink energy drinks.
Yeah.
That's so bad for you.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
Yes.
really bad.
I didn't think they were that bad for you.
It's like taking like those like...
Mickey started drinking them, and then I was like, I may as well have these because I kind of get sick of drinking coffee. Is energy drinks worse than coffee? Like
the Red Bull and the Monsters, and those are very bad for you, yes.
Really?
The like Starbucks ones with energy, I think those are okay. But like
they say
really bad, no, really bad. Like people have heart attacks from the Monster drinks.
If you want to get like energy, why don't you try to like get those packets that are like energy filling?
Let's put this out there. Our energy drink's actually bad for you. I have a routine of when I do energy drinks. So when I first wake up, my protein shake, I have an energy drink with that. Like one of those powders, like pre-workout powders. So that's my first one. Then
you have an energy drink with your protein?
First, well, there's like there's pre-workout things.
Energy drinks taste disgusting.
No, it's a powder. You mix it with water. And you just chug it down.
Okay.
It's like one of those things. It's got like all it's like vitamin.
Yeah, that's like a normal like pre-workout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I drink that with the protein shake. That's around 5ish in the morning. Then my next one is around 9. I have my first cup of coffee. Okay. Then I usually wait till like 12:31. I have an iced coffee. Then around 4 or 5, I have a sugar-free Red Bull. And then depending on how tired I am that day, I may have a sugar-free Red Bull at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So
I don't know
so
how
bad
you
for
do
you.
that.
Yeah.
That's like my heart would be pounding at night. I would never be able to relax my body.
I gotta be honest with you, it doesn't really do much for me. So that like if I have a third cup of coffee, I just don't like the way it tastes. I just need the energy.
You could look into something else.
Yeah.
What is the first thing that you do when you get to the office?
Clean out my email. Like clean out my email and like answer all this stuff. Cause like the reality is like when I go to bed and I wake up, I have like 50 to 100 emails depending on what happens. And then like I've cleaned those out as I'm getting dressed, but I only have so much time. So whatever's left over, I do first thing. But I also, unfortunately from 8 to 9 a.m., I average at least 250 emails from 8 to 9 a.m. It's the worst hour of emails a day. And it's always emergency emails, always from 8 to 9 a.m. every day.
When I work at night and in the morning, like I try not to check my emails in the morning before I come in because then I get stuck doing them for 2 hours and then I'm late to get in.
Yeah.
I try to like loop you off all the emails I respond to because I don't want you to know that I'm on.
Yeah, but it also
then you start asking me to do stuff.
Yeah, that's true too. Because I mean, honestly, the
can't hear you.
we have to remember too is that like everybody else is off from like the evening to the morning, so like we get like a lot of times like in the middle of the day like there could be a lot of stuff that has to happen, or like Nicole's like, hey, what time are you gonna be home? And like maybe I don't have any appointments at night, so I'm like, dude, I'm totally gonna make it home by like 7 or 8. Like this is gonna be great. And then World War III hits at 5:30. Like World War effing 3 hits, and it's just like nonstop emails, deals are dying, people want to run an offer, it's a multiple bid, you can't get hold of the agent, and then of course like 10:30 at night when everybody else is off, then like they get back to you too. Like so it's like I don't know. It's hard to predict. It's an unpredictable job.
Like when I drive in and drive out, that's probably when I take the most calls with clients or other brokers because that's when they're first waking up and checking their emails.
Correct. Yeah.
What time do you usually get to the office and when do you leave?
I usually get to the office right around 9. I would say like 8:50 to 9:15, like in that range is when I get here. It honestly it depends on because I'm done working out 5 days a week or 4 days a week by like 6:45, and a couple of the other days it's like 7:30. But the problem lies in how many emails do I get stuck catching up on at home while trying to get dressed and like showered and stuff like that.
It messes up your whole routine when you check emails in the morning
and
people are answering back to you.
Or like a Zillow call comes in, it's like a 20-minute one.
Somebody's like, let's schedule a call. Can you chat now?
Yeah. Or like I can't tell you how many calls I take because I bring my phone in the shower with me. How many calls I take in the shower? Like if people are like, what's going on? They're like, oh, nothing's going on. You know, I'm like, there's like shower like pouring down, but like that depends on. I should be able to get her about like 8:59 every day, depending if I don't get overwhelmed with calls.
I can't say though for the agents, not you guys probably, but for the agents, that has always been nice working here. Is I don't really hear from you till like at least 9:30, unless it's like an emergency.
That's how I.
But it's not like we need to talk every day at 8 a.m. Like so,
yeah. Do other people make you talk at 8 a.m.?
Like past jobs and pause. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people like to talk like early in the morning, but that is.
I'll tell you, I don't like.
It's actually kind of not. I know that if it was an emergency, I can get a hold of you or say like call me, but it's actually like if I call you, like you don't call me back usually till you get in the office.
I'm pretty tired, like right after my workout, and like I'm done getting like showered and eating breakfast. So then like I need that first cup of coffee before I want to talk to anybody. Like I'm pretty cranky at that point.
How do you stay motivated every day?
I'm a winner. I wake up winning. Like it's just a winning mentality.
Do you watch any motivational videos?
I mean, sometimes when I run, I'll listen to some of them. I mean, not maybe once or twice a week I do, but I mean, it's I've always had a chip on my shoulder. I've just always had that fire in my belly to want to win, and I cannot think of any time in my adult life where I've ever woken up and was like, oh, I can't wait to go to work. Like even when I'm on vacation, like we can't like when we go to Napa July 1st to the 5th, like. Javi, our driver, who shout out to Javi, like he knows he can't. Even if the winers like they want us to start at 9 a.m., he has to convince them it can't start till like 9:45 because I got to do my whole morning routine. Like I still do it even no matter where I'm at.
But that time is early, so you're probably up early there.
I'm like up
3 a.m.
But here's what I'm doing: is I'm doing my morning and afternoon routine all at once.
Got it.
Do you use automated emails or do you write your own for follow-ups?
I write my own for follow-ups. The only automated stuff is like what you guys send for. Like some follow-ups, I guess, that you guys do. But like,
I have templates, and then I change the templates based off of where the deal stands. Or
I guess like I don't schedule send like stuff, but like there's stuff.
Templates.
Yeah, we have templates that I customize, I should say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much time do you allocate? I mean, I guess we were kind of said this to allocate to emails and prospecting. I guess when you wake up.
I don't really try to prospect when I first wake up. My old routine was like that, and I've switched it up since then. I've been more efficient doing it this way. But
why do you think? Why did you change it?
So I used to first wake up, and then I'd work for 2 hours, and I do all my prospecting. And my thought process is that by the time other people wake up, they'll already see my email come to them. They'll think like this guy's like a really hard worker, right? And I'm sure it was probably great, but the problem for me was that then I'd get to the gym at like 7:30 because by the time I was done with it. And like that, as we talked about, that 8 to 9 o'clock frame is like such a busy email call thing that I couldn't concentrate on working out. And I was like half my workout I'm just on the phone answering stuff. Yeah. And that's not like you're not really doing anything.
Is that when you used to go to East Bank and then take your walk there and then walk back and pick up your car and come
Correct. Here? Yeah. That was my old routine when I was early 30s.
Do you have a list of clients that need daily attention? How do you deal with them?
Every day I prospect. So when we talk about first thing we do, I clear out my email and then I follow up with all leads. And in my leads, I keep all hot and warm buyers in my prospecting email. So every day I look at their stuff to see if it's something I need to follow up with them or not. And it may be every day I send them something, it may not be, or I look at properties for them. But I would say a large portion of my day, a good 3 hours of my day is spent like looking at past clients or current clients, whether it be buyers or sellers, and then prospecting like new business. At least 3 hours of my day.
Do you have a list? Well, you don't have to give names, but do you have clients that need daily attention? How do you deal with them, and how many hours do you spend on calls a day?
I mean, there's definitely clients that are more needer than others. I mean, and that's not a knock. There's just different personalities out there. And if we know somebody like, there's some clients that need more attention. There's some clients that don't want more attention, right? But like, we don't want to not service the clients that don't want more attention, right? Because then they're going to think, then what happens when we get fired? They're like, well, you never emailed us, right? Yeah. And it's like, well, you got annoyed when we did. So I'd rather annoy them to have them be like, well, we don't need these communications. I'd be like, well, if we do get fired, I'd be like, well, here's all the times we did send them to you. But the needed ones, I think we try to show how much we're communicating with them, right? When we talk about this too, and so like that we can prove of how many times we reached out.
Yes, and prove that like when somebody says, oh, why isn't my place selling, or why didn't you suggest this earlier, you have proof that you did actually suggest this earlier, they just didn't read your follow-ups.
Correct. So it's there's we get fired all the time, and everybody's gonna get fired. I mean, you can not even Mickey Mantle at 1,000, right? Isn't that the saying? So the reality is that like when we do get fired and they everybody wants to blame everybody, and some things you just can't. They're just not sellable, and a lot of things about timing. It's not about who you are. It's just about timing. And when they say like, well, you never told us to stage or you never told us to price shop, I'm like, well, here's the 50 emails I sent where I talked about this, and then you told me I was wrong, and then what do? They hire somebody else. They do everything we told them,
what you told them to do.
and then it sells in a day, and then that person looks like a freaking rock star, and then they're bad mouthing us like, oh, that Laricy team, they're too busy, they're not good for us. Like, well, no, I mean, I gave them all the advice, they let you do it, and then you got the sale, and then we look like crap.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it doesn't sell.
Yeah.
How many calls would you say are a complete waste of time?
I would say if I put in the time frame,
Hello?
probably an hour of my day. But here's the problem is that like, right? So like, okay, if I'm sleeping, 4 to 5 hours a night, let's call it 5 hours to make it easy, right? So that means I have 19 hours a day to work. 1 hour of my day is dedicated to bullshit. And like people don't, I understand that I need to like hone down my temper some days, but like we have terrible days, and then I get somebody that's like, hey, this is Steve, and I'm looking to show Erie. I'm like, okay, we have 4 listings on Erie. Which one are you trying to show, Steve? He's like, oh, aren't you cocky with a bunch of business? Like, no, I'm not. What? Just tell me the full address, right? And like now I'm frustrated because I'm on the other line. I got 50 emails coming in. I got 10 people who need my attention right now, and I'm talking to Steve about Erie, and then he's like, it's 435 Erie unit this. I'm like, okay, when do you want to see it? Well, that's a great question. Let me think about that. Can you do Saturday? Okay, we can do Saturday. No. Sunday, anytime Sunday. Okay, we'll do 12 o'clock Sunday. That's not going to work for me. How about Tuesday? You're like, what the hell is going on here? And then I'm like, and at the whole time, I'm thinking this is a prospective client. And then I find out it's like, hey, I'm a realtor. Yeah. Now, 3 minutes in this conversation, we found his realtor. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you use the MLS? I was driving, and I just felt like it was okay for me just to call you. You're driving. First off, I know they're lying because not everybody's got my number saved in their phone, which means they went on the MLS, they scrolled down to the bottom, they clicked on my number, okay? Above my number, right above my number, it says, do not call Matt to schedule showings. Click on this button, showing time. So they ignored the instructions, and they thought they were too busy. Because that's what they always say too, is I'm driving, I got a lot going on. You got a lot going on? You look up the guy, he's done $2 million in sales in the last 3 years. You don't got a lot going on. You're just lazy. And then
how angry you're getting
I was
now.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, this is the enthusiasm when they call.
Because like it's not enthusiasm, but it's just like it's just complete lack of care or respect.
Yeah.
And then I could see like if it's a new agent and like, listen, like I'm sorry, I haven't used this before. Like I didn't like see it. I'm like, no,
they're
problem,
not apologetic. No.
These guys they're like aggressive towards you. Then they start talking down to you. And then they're like, well, you're being cocky. I'm like, I'm not being cocky, man. I'm I'm drowning in work, and I got to explain this guy how to use the MLS.
Yeah.
Like it's just
people calling you that for rental listings, spam calls, or people asking to see something last minute are like the waste of your time.
I get 100 spam calls a day.
Who takes care of the cleaning in your office? That's the one that always calls you. The cleaning service.
Oh my God. But here's the thing is I get, because we're online and like, I know what somebody's going to out there be like, well, I hide my cell phone so this thing doesn't happen. Listen, this is my problem. Okay. Because I would say if I had to quantify it, probably 5% of our total business. Because when somebody calls, it's me that answers. Like, I like that you are the one that answered. I cannot tell you how many times I get business solely based on that. So because of that, the devil that goes along with that is that I'm going to get spam calls. But I'll tell you, if you have a shitty day, okay, you lost $10 million in business, which can quantify to, let's just say, guys, $100,000. I lose $100,000 in a day, and I get 15 spam calls. The 16th spam call that comes in, I'm not going to be the nice guy. I'm sorry. I'm a human being. I got feelings. I have emotions. I'm a passionate person. I'm going to let you have it. I'm sorry.
Tip for realtors: if you call another realtor, identify who you are, identify the address you're calling in regards to, and identify what you need done.
But here's the thing: and
read instructions.
Right,
first.
but here's the thing: is like the time I get the most mad, it's like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
it'll be like 11 o'clock at night.
On a Sunday, always like on a Sunday.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, sorry, I just put the kids to bed, and like I answer. Now again, somebody out there's like, well, why are you answering the phone? The reason I'm answering the phone because if somebody's calling me at 11 o'clock at night, this could be somebody probably from out of state. Like if they're in California, it's not, it's like what, like 9 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
And this could be a guy that's got a really big expensive budget. So I'm going to pick up the call. I'm not picking up the call because I don't think, and this is how dumb I am, I don't think it would be an agent that's looking to schedule a showing at 7 o'clock in the morning the next day and doesn't have the MLS and doesn't have a computer in front of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and you have to answer the phone because they'll just keep calling.
Oh my God, that's the other thing. That's the other thing is that they'll call you 50 times in a row. Like people are like, there's a person yesterday. I was on a Zoom. They called me 16 times in a row. 16 times in a row. I called them. I said, "Are my kids dead?" That was my first thing I said. I said, "My kids dead." They said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Did my children die?" They said, "Why do you say that?" I'm like, "You called me 16 times." Like, "Oh, I'm in the lobby of 1040 Adams, and I saw this one come up, and I'm here with my client. Can I get in there right now?" Did you, what kind of idiot does that? This is why I get worked up, because I get that 50 times a day. God, you got me going. That triggered me.
How many appointments do you go on in a week?
It depends. I would say, if we're talking about just new business, okay, it would be a minimum of 1 to 2 a day, okay? So you got 7 days a week. Let's call it 14, okay? I would say it's probably more than that on the weekends, but let's just say 14 new business. If it's a normal, where I'm showing a buyer or something like that, I would say maybe 2 to 4 a day.
Do you spend more time now in the office or kind of out in the field doing showings, consultations?
In today's business, I spend more time in the office than out. I mean, consultations take an hour, let's say.
And most of them you do a lot of Zoom now.
Yeah, I do a lot of them on Zoom now. So, we're saying, that's 2 hours of the, 15 hours I'm here. And then, maybe once or twice I'll be out in the field. But the problem is managing the actual business and getting the business. My time is better spent and the advice is better here than running around. I used to think it was better me showing you the properties and telling you this, but ultimately my team is so good that they could show them to you and tell you what you need to know. I could tell you where the value is and try to win the business. The biggest problem is I think one of the biggest difference when we went from 150 to averaging in the high twos is that I realized that my bigger strength is being able to, one, win the property, and two, make sure that we get it in speedily and make sure you have the best advice for it. But when I was only doing, 100 to 150 is I was out in the field and people were asking me, "Hey, I need questions about this," or I need this done, or "Can you give me advice on this?" And I'd have 100 advice emails I'd have to get to or calls, but I was running around with a $200,000 buyer that whole day. Maybe I had 3 of those in a row, whereas now I have Catherine, these guys running around with the $200,000 buyers. And when the $200,000 buyer's got a question and wants to write an offer, I'm here ready to talk them through what we're going to do.
Yeah, I think that goes back to the templates too,
Right.
of knowing which assistants know how to respond to things that can kind of take things off your plate, so that when you do get in, you can focus on the things that are more high demand.
Correct. That's what we're trying to do is filter out emails. That first off, when we talk about emails, and I know this is probably a question, how many emails a day? I mean, we're averaging a minimum of 2,500 emails a day, okay? But you have to remember, that sounds like crazy numbers. You're this is full of shit. 1,000 of those emails, 100% are spam, automatic spam, just legit spam emails. So if they're on my email, they could do it. That's it. We also send out calendar invites for everything, which means every time we get a showing on a listing, that's 2 emails for me.
Yeah.
Okay. We got 20 showings in a day. That's 40 emails just off the bat, just there. And then there's always 50 emails that come from that. Okay. So I'm saying, it's 2,500 sounds like it's crazy, which it is. So if we're sitting here and you just look at my phone and you can just scroll up and it's just nothing but email, I probably only need to answer about 1,000 emails a day, which still sounds crazy, but that's why if I'm on a 2-hour tour, okay, by the time I'm done, I needed 2 hours just to catch up on the work that came in. That's must answer, which is why I'm in the office a little bit more.
How many miles do you think you drive a day?
Not that many with a Tesla.
Yeah. Oh, hey. I don't work a big area. I work a big area, but it's not miles wide. It's we go as far north as a little bit north of North Center, right? So that's 5 miles away from the office. So it's 5 miles there, 5 miles back. So on average, maybe I probably drive only 100 miles or less a day.
Do you ever work from home? And is it good to have a flexible schedule?
I've never worked from home. I don't even know how you could work from home. First off, I have 3 children. So how anybody ever worked at home with children, God bless you, because
take the children out of the equation. I don't think you ever worked from home before.
Yeah,
then.
I don't. The reason I think the whole work from home is BS and why I know it's not going to last is that people get distracted. You're sitting at home, like maybe you have a little bit of downtime because you're in between stuff. What are you gonna do? We watch Fubar. We're talking about how excited we are. Fubar is a great show, right?
It was a good show.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger is like one of my biggest heroes in life. So like I'm saying like I'm watching that. Maybe like I can't wait to watch the one. I get like 30 minutes of TV time a night. Like I can't wait to watch the other episode. I'm at home and I have downtime.
You're turning that on.
Like now I'm mentally strong. I'm a weirdo, but a lot of people aren't. They're gonna be like, oh, let's watch that last episode, right? Then they watch that one and it's a cliffhanger. Like, yeah, I could get to that work in like another half hour. So like I think working from home and employees right now, they're hemorrhaging cash. If you watch the stock market at all, every tech company's in the gutter. When this recession hits, whether it's now or 2 years from now, whatever, this work from home thing is done. The other thing I'm going to tell you really quickly while I'm on this tangent about this work from home thing, there's about 30 to 40% of all commercial real estate's about to get defaulted on. If that all gets defaulted on, the market will crash. Like our economy will crash. We can't handle that much commercial business going into foreclosure. Like the 06 bubble that burst was because of all the residential markets that went into foreclosure. Guess what? There's more commercial debt than there was residential debt. The government's not going to allow this to happen. You're going to start seeing, and Biden already mandated government and official employees have to go back to work, go back to the office. You think that's not coming? Just wait and watch.
Distracted when I come to the office with you.
Oh, God.
Well, he has like club music playing.
It's motivating.
Screaming at people calling him.
Like going into screaming, how many heated arguments do you get in a day?
At least one.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, I would say at least one. I actually personally, I mean, I know I'm a delusional sociopath and weirdo, but I actually think I'm a really nice person. I think it's other people. Some days I'm in such a good mood and I think I'm like just a peach to be around. But I think I think it's other people that turn me to where it is. We work in a business where for some reason everybody is passive aggressive and they talk down to you. True. And there's a thing, everybody's got a trigger. For me, getting triggered is being told like I'm not good enough, okay, or talking down to me. Like or this is how it's done by somebody that does nothing, okay? And then I could like in the morning, if you see me like 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm like Mr. fucking nice guy. I'm like pleasant to be around.
Depends on the morning.
Right. Well, I guess if nothing died.
I was just gonna say
Okay.
it depends on what happens to you and how early.
Right. But then like a deal dies, a seller calls us up, telling them we're terrible at ourselves, and I deal with 3 agents in a row that tell us we're terrible and how much better they are. And then by the 5th call from there, and then somebody tries to like get in an argument with me, yeah, I lose my temper. 100%.
So going back to that, a deal dies. What happens and how do you react?
Miserable all day.
Life's over.
The world's gonna end.
The world's gonna end.
I'm moody.
I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack.
I mean, here's the thing: is that like I like to win. Okay, so
But
like,
you do care, yeah.
Like so, and winners like to win, and like we have these clients that depend on us, and like honestly, I don't like letting people down, and like I know that we just let those people down, and like how mad they are at us in general, and even if they're not like they know that we've done everything we could, like ultimately we didn't close the deal, you know, and I don't like losing. I don't like, you know, letting somebody down, and I also don't like just not getting my way. That's just the God honest truth. Like I'm so routine oriented that I have a plan, and when you knock me off my plan, it triggers me to put me in the worst mood there is, and then I get moody, and then you know I complain.
Sue you for everything you have.
I mean I have a temper.
Yeah,
I have a temper.
I
love when my dad tells me that I have a temper, and I'm like, who do you think's really got the temper? Like,
I think your dad's the nicest person.
you guys are. I'm like,
Your
crap.
dad is nice, but I agree. He can flip a switch sometimes.
Yeah, and he's like, where'd you get this from? I don't know. You tell me, buddy.
How do you keep deals organized? Me.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie does all of our deals. He keeps them
When
organized.
there's a problem, I tell Matt, and he helps me fix it.
Yeah. They call me a fixer. No, but I mean, like, that's the only way. Like, that people, I think the big problem, too, out there when we're talking about, like, you know, like a day in life and how you say, like, afloat and get everything done with is that, like, there's a lot of agents out there that has to say it's all me. It's me. Only me does this. I do all this. Yeah, I don't have a team. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, listen, like, I mean, I have an ego just like every other person, but, like, I also don't need to say, like, I'm the best at everything. Like, I am a very organized person, but when you put me in the position I'm in now, like, it's impossible for me to stay organized. I cannot physically keep up with all the stuff. So I have Jamie to take care of all the deals. So, like, there's a lot of stuff that goes in that I don't need to like be a part of. Like, hey, can we buy furniture? We're furniture salesmen a lot, right? Or, you know, like, how do I turn on the gas? Or like, you know, is this paperwork right to sign? Like, these are important questions for a buyer that's never bought before that like need to talk through somebody with. And like, in all honesty, it's like, I wouldn't say like my biggest strength is telling you like people's gas number and here's the account. But like Jamie's really good at making these people feel organized, making sure people feel like they're getting the attention they want, making it less stressful, because you know, here's a buyer maybe buying a place for the first time, they're overwhelmed, they didn't know they had to turn on gas, they didn't have to do this, and you have somebody here to walk you through everything, and then you feel a lot relieved, and then guess what, you don't have as much stress. Whereas with other groups, they don't have anybody walking through all this stuff, and then like they're super stressed out, and then you're talking to an agent who says they're doing everything, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know, I got 50 appointments today. It's 1-800 people's gas. You know, like, well, you know.
I think most clients too, like especially they trust Jamie so much they don't even put you on the emails. They
Right.
ask her questions. It's not like they're like thinking that she's like the second or whatever. They actually.
Right, but I mean, it's not saying like, and like a lot of agents that do a lot of business will be like, well, that's like a slight on me because now they don't like me. No. You're running a business. Like, you can't talk to the CEO of Pepsi all the time, right? You got to talk, like, there's other people here who can take care of stuff. Like, this is a team, right? The whole team needs to work together. And I think that's another reason why we beat and do so well is that we work as a team.
Yeah.
I also think that goes back to why you do the most volume wise, like the deal transaction wise,
Right.
because there is somebody to help you with all those questions that like somebody else necessarily would just pass off.
It would be impossible. I mean, when we're doing over 500 and some odd deals a year, like that, it's just physically impossible to stay that organized and most importantly, make the clients feel like they're number one.
Yeah.
And the reason that we spend the money and do what we do is so that our clients have ultimately the best experience they can have. And if you don't want to do any business and I want to do 10 deals a year, I can make a client feel that great. But unfortunately, I also can't have a living doing 10 deals a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many deals do you usually have at a given time? And I know like over the years it's changed from more buyers to sellers, but what would you say the ratio is there now?
I mean, during high season, we average about 100 deals. Like for like 5 to 6 months a year, we average about 100 deals. We should be averaging like 150 this time, but that's a different story. But we normally, and then like in low season, I would say it's like 50-ish, and like Christmas season's like 40. Right.
Yeah, I would say like 40 to 50 during Christmas season. During high season, it should be anywhere between like 80 to 120 deals at a month, pretty much.
Yeah, so there's just there's a lot coming in, and then you know when you're losing stuff, it can be crazy. When it talks to buyers or sellers, honestly, we hover around 50-50. Like some years it's 60-40 sell to buy, some years it's 60-40 buy to sell. I mean, I would say it's pretty cut in the middle.
Do you think buyers or sellers cause more stress?
They're both stressful in different ways. You know, nobody's easy, and I don't mean that in a rude way. Like somebody's watching us be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't like his clients." No, it's a stressful job. Buyers and sellers have different problems. Buyers could have a rent coming up. They don't have a place to move. They're getting outbid left and right. You know, they're not getting what they want. So they're putting, you know, what do they do? Then they put that pressure on you. Like you're not doing your job, right? And then you feel bad as an agent that you can't able to like meet this for them. So we're trying everything we can to make them happy, because if they're not happy, ultimately, if they don't find a place, we're nothing to them, right? And then when it comes to sellers, like you have the pressure of like, these guys want to move. Maybe they got kids, they don't feel safe where they're at or whatever it is. And like, we're trying to sell a product and we can't sell it. And like, we know how much they hate us. Like there's some, I send, you know, 2 updates a week to sellers. And I know there's some sellers that we work with at times where like, they're just so mad that we haven't sold their place. And I can almost feel it as I'm sending it. And I tell people all the time, like when these sellers yell at me, I'm like, do you think I want to sit here at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday and send an email where I know you don't like me? Like I'm sitting here doing everything I possibly can to sell it. So yeah, it's very stressful on both ends, but ultimately like that's our job. And that's what I love about it.
How often do you communicate with your dad?
Oh my God.
Every day?
No.
Yes.
No.
I talk to your dad more than I talk to my
I haven't
mother.
talked to him in a couple weeks.
Same.
But like, I mean, I average once every couple days.
How often are you in communication with the team members?
I would say I talk to everybody at least once a day. And like, if I haven't talked to somebody in a day, I call them.
Just to check in.
Just to check in.
Shit.
But I'm not a weirdo. I say like, hey, let's check in.
No.
I'll talk about something.
Yeah.
I'll call you up and be like, I called you when you're in your honeymoon. Just like make sure you're alive.
There was a point in time where you wanted everybody to share our locations with you.
I absolutely that was never going to happen for me.
I mean, well, I thought it would make us more efficient. So like okay, first off, Is it weird? Yes. But think about this. If we all share the location, the buyer and listing coordinators could be able to then look it up. Because we get a lot of give you an example to talked about earlier with the 1040 Adams, where somebody's in the lobby. If Callan had everybody's locations, like, hey, we have 2 people sitting right in the West Loop, they could go there. That's why I wanted to do it. I was like, this could make us we could like crushed on that. And then you guys started getting creepy, like, we're gonna look at where I'm at my house. I'm like, it wasn't about that. I was thinking like on a business front, it could be like really awesome seeing where everybody's at. I still think
or
it's a good idea.
a way for you to calculate days off. Like if somebody's at a grocery store in the middle
Yeah,
of the day.
if they're at the West Loop, yeah.
Well, secretly, I also think that would have been a good idea because if like Catherine's at Nordstrom, she says she's really busy. I'd be like, well,
but like you have to go to Nordstrom at some time. I don't go on like a Saturday afternoon.
Exactly.
I go at like a Tuesday morning in between showings.
When was the last time in between showings? I'm like, I'm just going to Nordstrom and get some shoes.
Like last week.
What? Me?
Oh, you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
But like it's like the same thing. You have to go to Daniel George and get fitted for your suits.
You have to go
and you have to
get a haircut.
You have to get a haircut. You have to go on Amazon and order your food for dinner.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that everybody else has to do. That's my Sundays. That's my day off. I do errands around my house.
Personally, I don't think there should be days off, but that's a different story. Go on. Next question.
Where do you prioritize work, family, leads, everything, and how you keep it all together?
Work comes first. We gotta run the business, and that's not like saying like that we don't love the family. I mean, obviously, like if something happened with my family, like where I had to go pick up my kid or whatever, obviously I'm gonna go there. And like if I lost business over it, like first off, if somebody fires you because like there's an emergency with your kid, then like I don't really give a shit like about that business. But like when it comes to like my daily routine and working the business, like I gotta take care of the company, you know. But like if there's something that like is detrimental with my family, like yeah, of course, my kids first and foremost will always come first over anything else in the world, you know. Then my wife, then the business, and myself. But like I'm saying, like when it comes to a day by day, just routine stuff, I always have to make sure that the business is getting taken care of. My wife is a rock star and she's very understanding. She understands like how the business works, and my mother-in-law is like a godsend because she helps with them. So like I'm blessed in the sense that like I live in a city where my office is across the street from where I live, which makes my life very easy in that sense. And my wife has a mother and sister who are super involved with their family. So I have that support. I realize a lot of people out there, you know, their families live in Ohio and they're down here and they have no connections, no friends, no family. So it's harder for them to keep that balance. So like for me, it's very easy because I have a lot of like internal help from my family. If it was just my family, like my brother and my dad to help out, like I wouldn't be alive.
What is the best part of your day?
Man, that's a great question. I don't know.
Fridays, opening that bottle of wine.
I mean, yeah, probably putting my kids to bed is probably the best part of my day.
Why are your muscles not busting through your suit if you work out every day for years?
I mean,
Who wrote that one?
I don't even know.
I have some ideas.
But I don't know. It's genetics, guys. Like I'm not also like doing like crazy workouts.
To go off, what is the best day? What is the hardest part of your day? Probably the
first thing in the morning. I'd say that like 9 a.m. hits, and if I have, especially if we have like, you know, like 4 closings at 9 a.m. and there's a problem with 2 of them, which happens all the time. It's the end of the month, and then I have like a listing consultation at 9 a.m. and then like I'm on the listing consultation. There's 50 people calling me. Everything's dying, and like, yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's always that 9 to 10 a.m. range is hands down the most stressful point of my day every day. And I try never to take appointments at 9 to 10 if I don't have to. I've lost listings because like they can only do 9 and it's like the end of the month and it's there. I'm like, and we got like 4 closings that morning. I'm like, I just know that I'm going to lose the business I already have to get new business. Like I got to prioritize. But like ultimately, like I try my best to make sure that 9 to 10 a.m. is clear of appointments.
I guess where do you see like the business? I mean, we know we kind of go through this every time around, like kind of going from here and growing.
Well, right now, year to date, we're down about 50-ish million. We remind all the time. So like my goal is ultimately just to continue to be a better version of ourselves every single day and always try to like perfect our imperfections. We have a lot of imperfections. I think we can always be better. So my goal right now is to try to build our marketing team out to be stronger because we're kind of lacking a little bit there, and then try to figure out where our weaknesses is in our day to day to try to be more efficient, to try to make up ground. And we got 7 months left to make up ground from last year, which I think is possible. in the next 5 years, I mean, I don't know what time can tell. I mean, I want to be the best here, and then, you know, who knows what lies in the future.
Maybe you go to Tennessee next.
Nashville. I mean, I don't know. I also want to open an office in Yountville. I told Nicole yesterday I want to open an office in Yountville, and she hung up the phone on me. So
Well, after you guys go for the 4th of July, then you'll get like all charged about that.
well, when I go there, I start talking to people like, "Where's the best place to get offices?"
Yeah, that's what
Nicole's
I'm
like, "Will you shut up?" Like we're at like dinner. I'll be asking the waiter, be like, "Yo, what do you like? Where's the best part over here? Like, is this a good?
You know anyone
is this a
leasing
place?"
any offices?
Well, I'm always trying to make business happen. Like I'm a salesman. I'm in business. That's what happens. So, anyways, that's kind of like a day-to-day kind of what happens in a day of life of top agent teams here. You know, leave any comments of any questions that you guys have, what you'd like to try to improve, what we can help out with as well. Thanks for listening to Laricy Live.